big on pork, as you most likely know, but if Ollie doesn't, maybe Mrs. Bonaducci down at the Neapolitan market would.
Fat chance. She's just about as much of a homophile as Jackie O's sister and Anita Bryan.
Anita. Now there's a despicable name from our past. Does anyone remember what she became?
A legend in spite of herself. Still somewhere being a bankrupt has-been who never was. Oh, after all her hate-mongering, she apologized and said at the time she was having marital problems. She was taking pills, she was boozing it up, was having money problems. The only thing she didn't have was the heartbreak of psoriasis to blame for her ignorance of her vicious vitriol.
I was living in St. Paul when she went there to rally for the defeat of the Civil Rights Ordinance because it included sexual orientation. I can still see it. She was flanked by Archbishop Jack Roach and Rosalie Butler.
In likeness of the non-Minnesota nice persuasion.
It was back in the summer of 1978. She was traveling everywhere to rally against gays. It was the Save Our Children crusade, and in St. Paul, she did get to succeed.
And you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, stop harder.
Be quiet, Greer Garson. I want to hear this.
The Archbishop got a pie on his face. We stopped jeering and started cheering. Then started jeering again when the pie thrower was arrested. In Des Moines, it was Anita who got the pie in the face.
Oh, I remember that. She claimed it was a fruit pie, the witch.
Anyway, the Archbishop was arrested a few years later for leaving the scene of an accident while driving under the influence and had to spend a weekend in jail. The whole thing was on TV.
And who was that other person you mentioned?
Rosalie Butler. Quite a character. Rosalie was elected city councilwoman in St. Paul after she became the widow of a very rich man who fell madly in love with her.
And that's unusual. We all come from heteros, you know, or people who were performing as such at the time.
He fell in love with her when she was a stripper in a sleazy bar on 7th Avenue in St. Paul, just down the way from the international airport. Then she became respectable and homophobic. Something I've never been able to understand. Females who hate us, like Mrs. Bonaducci, what are they suffering from? Gay penis envy? Anywho, she was very hateful to our kin.
Well, duh. No queen's ever slipped her the $10 bill.
She must still be whirling in her grave.
Over the triumph of gay activism?
No. When she died, her estate included a mansion on Summit Parkway and Lexington Avenue in St. Paul, right across the street from St. Luke's Church, and next door to the governor's mansion. The house was bought by 2 antique dealer queens, if there were ever queens. Demure these were not. They used to throw the most scandalously outrageous parties in broad daylight, especially on grand old days. That was an annual festival on Grand Avenue, parallel to Summit, every July. They have one of every kind of those parties, sometimes a whole gaggle of them. When I went to some of the parties, the governor was Rudy Perpich. He and his wife Lola would come out of their yard and greet the revelers on the other side of the wrought iron fence. We all loved them, so unwittingly campy. One time when they were out there, a chorus of partygoers started chanting, "Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets." She started nodding and clapping. It was fantastic. Then we did a grand chorus of "New York, New York," but we switched the lyrics to "Start spreading your legs." And both Rudy and Lola were in stitches.
These things happened in Minnesota. Pure as the driven snow in Minnesota where Lake Wobegon is.
Hey, Minnesota was home to Jack Baker back in the early 70s.
Okay, so he may have had a shrine somewhere next to our Ingalls Wilder, but who the heck was Jack Baker?
Oh, Jesus.
What's the matter? You forgot your chill pills again?